Allegations putting special education in the spotlight, from teachers to advocates to parents and even lawmakers.
Are focusing on claims that the special education department at Woodland Joint Unified School District may be violating the rights of its students.
In part one of this three-part investigative series, your reporter covering Yolo County, Ashley Sharp, is digging in a story you'll see only on CBS 13.
Now, she's been working on this for 5 months now. And Ashley, this has just been eye-opening. The district actually took an interesting step last night after you told them this story was airing today, right?
Yeah, that's right. The superintendent sent an email to every parent in the district last night on Easter Sunday, letting them know about this story. We obtained that email, and it basically spells out what the district says they're doing to make their special ed programs better. I want to stress that I've given the district multiple opportunities for months now to provide us with those answers. And according to parents and advocates I've spoken with, Woodland Joint Unified has a lot to answer for.
This is a crisis on the federal level, but most people don't even know it exists.
They talk to us parents like we don't know what's best for our child.
At Zamora Elementary School, one mother's fight, she feels, echoes the struggles of other parents within the Woodland Joint Unified School District.
Natalie is behind educationally. The tests show it, and they didn't want to even help support her.
Serena Oliver's daughter, Natalie, is in kindergarten. Diagnosed with autism, she spent preschool and special ed classes within the district. But starting this school year is when Serena says the problems started. And at Natalie's first kindergarten IEP meeting, she felt silenced.
They were going to put her into general education with no support at all.
An IEP, or Individualized Education Program, is required by federal law, outlining what classroom supports are needed for a child in special education. Serena alleges the district excluded verbally agreed upon supports from that document and even lied about her daughter's progress to support a move out of special education.
They weren't taking it serious. Seemed like they were just trying to throw all the kids in mainstream. That's where majority of her preschool class ended up.
Educating one California student in special ed can be 3 times as expensive as general education. And last school year, state data shows Woodland Joint Unified had 1,770 kids enrolled in special ed, the highest of any district in Yolo County. In Natalie's case, Serena says she's also been in the wrong class all year, in violation of her original IEP, which stated she should be in a kindergarten class for kids with mild to moderate needs. Instead, she was placed in a class for severe needs. Serena eventually opted to keep Natalie there, feeling she was out of options.
For her to dislike kindergarten as much as she does is really sad, because it's kind of shaping her education in a negative light.
Serena is one of dozens of district parents who asked the Sacramento Autistic Spectrum and Special Needs Alliance, or SASNA, for help. The nonprofit advocates for students with special needs and their families region-wide, providing help navigating social services, even attending students' IEP meetings. CEO Dave Gaines says Natalie's story is one example of many.
We started getting kind of a stream of requests for help from parents in Woodland Joint Unified. We'd never seen anything like it before from this district.
Dave says he's working with around 40 clients, all current or former parents and teachers, all bringing forward their own allegations against the district.
It's probably the most severe situation that I've seen in my 15 years of doing this kind of work.
So what are the allegations? Dave Gaines says based on interviews with his SASNA clients he can share, they include claims that classrooms are being taught long-term by a substitute or a non-qualified teacher, that some students are not getting the supports outlined in their IEPs, a pattern of trying to push some students out of special ed, and even allegations of some classrooms with no teacher at all.
I have information, very credible information, that happened for a period of up to 7 months for a class with 12, 13, 14 significantly disabled students. Students with behavioral concerns, students that run away. There's safety concerns there.
That, Dave alleges, happened at a district adult education class for those with special needs. This school year, Cessna has sent a letter to the district offering to collaborate to address alleged substantial legal deficiencies and a, quote, cover-up of systemic problems. He says the district has provided no real response. It's why he contacted CBS Sacramento. He also emailed the school board and district that he plans to pursue criminal prosecution for violating students' federal education rights, even filing a complaint with the United States Department of Justice. The DOJ, in response, directed the United States Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights to look into his concerns. Dave says that is ongoing.
In a lot of cases, Woodland and the other school districts, they know they're in violation of the law. The system doesn't allow them to not be in violation of the law. It says you have to do all this by law, but we're not going to give you enough resources to do it.
I took all of these claims to the district, and while leaders chose not to respond directly, they told me that they take the allegations seriously, and back in December said that they would conduct an internal review of the special education department. Well, we checked back in now 4 months later, and they say that review is still ongoing. A spokesperson also told me the district is, quote, deeply committed to providing high quality education and upholding the rights of all students. So what's the response of the California Department of Education? A Public Records Act request revealed there were at least 6 complaints last school year against the district that were investigated and closed. In one of those cases, the state found the district was breaking the law, requiring a fix on the finding that the district did not comply with the student's IEP. And for at least one still open complaint, CDE told the district's superintendent on December 6th that it would investigate further claims alleging violations of special education laws. But CDE tells me, though the district is being monitored by a Yolo County agency for significant ethnic and racial disparities, that the district at large has not received any corrective actions from CDE.
What we don't want is what's been going on for a long time, which is just complaint after complaint after complaint, and single complaints are resolved, but the problem's never resolved.
Dave says it's a funding and staffing deficit, decades in the making, hoping by calling attention to it to make a difference. Now, in that email that was sent out to parents last night, the district's superintendent was quick to point out that these challenges are not unique to Woodland, saying that they're working to address staffing shortages through ramped up recruitment. They also added 3 special day classes based on student need. They brought on a new special education administrator and are providing professional development for special ed teachers and staff. Now, coming up tomorrow in part 2 in this series, where I tracked down 2 former teachers who had this to say.
And you advocate for your students, that can sometimes not work out well for you.
That, plus how federal lawmakers are taking action on special education funding. That's coming up Tuesday night at 5 and 10, guys.
Looking forward to hearing from those teachers, because you can talk about the problem that was very well done and focused, but you want to hear from folks who've been in it as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they all have kind of their own experience to share, right? And just highlighting that, these are teachers who've worked in other districts, right? And right now are working in other districts, and say, these are problems, significant at Woodland, but problems that they have seen working other places as well. Yeah. So it's kind of putting a spotlight on a bigger problem.
I was just going to say that I know that that's not the only district, because we've heard of these concerns in other ones.
It's true.
Ashley, thanks. We'll look for part 2 tomorrow.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Let's get to